This is a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports. WAAY 31, your home for high school football.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out high. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right. Nolan, Max, Xavier, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Band and Coronal Big Game Friday night.
Another Friday night in North Alabama brings another incredible matchup. It's the Madison Bowl. Bob Jones taking on James Clemens in one of the biggest area rivalries in our big game, Friday night game of the week.
In our rivalry game of the week, we go to Milton Frank Stadium. There have been some all-time matchups between Grissom and Huntsville. Could tonight bring another? Hello and welcome into the Week 2 edition of Big Game Friday Night. I'm Nolan Knight, joined here by Max Cohan. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Another week is in the books, and we have another great night of high school football here in North Alabama.
Yeah, no kidding. Some awesome matchups like at our Big Game Friday Night game of the week between Bob Jones and James Clemens. For more on the game, we'll head out to Madison City Stadium where Xavier WAAY was on the sidelines.
It's the 11th edition of the Madison Bowl, and bragging rights are on the line in this regional matchup. It's a rivalry that defines the city of Madison. The 0-2 James Clemens Jets host the 1-1 Bob Jones Patriots. And would those Patriots keep the Jets grounded in this one, or would James Clemens fly high and extend its win streak to 5 in the series? This is our Big Game Friday Night game of the week. We head to Madison City Stadium for the Madison Bowl as the 0-2 James Clemens Jets host the 1-1 Bob Jones Patriots. Early in this one, Patriots QB Rashad Hardy fakes the handoff and puts those legs to good use as he jukes his way to the outside for a big gain before stepping out of bounds. And that would lead to Hardy just a few plays later taking the snap and finding his way across the goal line for the first points of the ball game. And moving to the second quarter after the Patriots extended their lead 19-3, the Jets look to climb back in this one. Quarterback Ty Marsh drops back and airs a deep ball to Ty Dowdy for the much-needed Jets touchdown. James Clemens would trail Bob Jones 19-9, but with only a few seconds left remaining in the half, Tyron Washington is going to take this handoff, and before he's brought down by a gang of Jets defenders, he pitches it to Quentin Hubbard at the last minute, and Hubbard is going to outrun the entire Jets defense, securing his reservations for 6. Bob Jones would take a commanding 26-9 lead into the locker room. And despite a second-half comeback by the Jets, Bob Jones prevails in this one, 26-19. Final score in this one is Bob Jones 26, James Clemens 19. I'm with Bob Jones head coach Kelvis White. Coach, that was a tough one. How did you all prevail?
Well, we just found a way at the end to hold on, man. Hats off to JC. They came out second half and, they gave us their best punch. And, again, we stood in there and made the plays when we had to. So I'm proud of our guys.
What does it mean to get back in the win column in the Madison Bowl?
I'm just happy for our seniors. I'm happy for our team. They hear about it all the time. So, to get that monkey off their back, it feels, I'm happy for them. So, we got to enjoy it and get ready for the next one.
And, Coach, what will you all need to do next week in order to be better?
We just got to keep working. We got to execute a little better. We had some penalties that hurt us, so we just got to clean up some things and just keep working hard.
Coach, congratulations on the win, all right? Yes, sir. And the final score in this one again is Bob Jones 26, James Clemens 19. That is the final in the Madison Bowl. Bob Jones gets back in the win column, breaking that 4-game win streak for James Clemens. Reporting in Madison, Xavier WAAY, WAAY 31 Sports.
So I guess it's going to be the Pats that will have bragging rights until next year.
And not only bragging rights, but also a big win for Region play. And speaking of 7A Region 4, let's go to another game. Sparkman hit the road to take on Austin to begin their region schedule. A lot of excitement at this game as Austin was looking for their first win of the season. The rain was coming down in this one when Gavin Fuqua takes this handoff. He's got some great vision, working his way in from 19 yards down for the score. The student section loving it and the rain, but on the following drive, Sparkman's Josh Ward would respond, airing one out to the corner of the end zone, and Jonathan Rozier is in for the score. This game back and forth all night, but in the end, Austin wins in dramatic fashion, 24-21. Another Region 4 matchup took place between Albertville and Florence. Both teams looking for their first region wins, but the Aggies could not pull this one out. They fall to the Falcons 49-7.
Moving things over to 6A, there are some really talented teams in Region 7 this year, like the 2-win Decatur squad taking on Athens tonight. And over at Ogle Stadium in the Phillip Rivers Bowl, it's the Athens Golden Eagles on the first offensive possession. Jay-Sean Riggle around the right end, and this is going to be a long-distance call. 65 yards down the sideline as he finds the end zone to put Athens up 7. But the Red Raiders would storm right back. Senior quarterback Ellis Dickman zips the pass to Jack Waller, and Decatur is in the red zone. A little later, Josh Turner finishes off the drive with his run and hits Pater. Now it's all high fives and hugs. But the Raiders' next drive would stall when Jake McDonald picks off Dickman's pass. But don't worry, Decatur would get the ball right back and drive into the red zone with that pass to Kevin Duke. Decatur has to settle for a field goal and a 13-7 lead before half. And now, believe it or not, the Red Raiders are 3-0 for the first time since 2010 with that win, the final 26-14. Here's a look at some other Region 7 games. This matchup between Hartselle and Coleman could have postseason implications. The Tigers taking home a win against the Bearcats with a final score of 34-3, while Muscle Shoals continues their impressive season with a 68-0 win over Columbia.
And Class 4A, we had some big matchups at Priceville tonight. The Bulldogs were hosting a winless Madison County team, and Priceville has some really talented players on their team, like Mason Carty. He was a factor for the Bulldogs last year and is again. Takes this screen pass, makes a hard cut to make a man miss, and then it would look like Madison County made a stand. Xavion Tinker coming up with the pick, and he's got blockers out in front. He's down to the sideline, maybe to the goal line even, but hold your horses. A flag on the play would bring it back, and the Bulldogs would capitalize on the mistake. It's Carty again, this time around the right side. He's down this sideline right at our Photog, Mike Houston. That's a Bulldogs first down that would lead to a score. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Carty takes the handoff. He powers in for 6 to give Priceville the first lead of the game as they would go on to win in a shutout at home, 35-0. And another big 4A Region 8 game. New Hope moved to 2-0 on the year with a 28-20 win over DAR.
One of the early season surprises in 2022 has been the West Morgan Rebels. 2-0 to start the year and taking on an always talented Brooks team this evening. And man, this Rebels team is impressive. We pick up Brooks 36, and West Morgan's Connor Dillard gets things going. He finds a seam, breaks a tackle, stiff arms another, and comes up with the big first down. And that would nearly lead to a touchdown, but West Morgan's Jeremy Strong would fumble through the end zone, and it's a touchback. But that mistake would not matter in the end. West Morgan wins it at home 53-7. Here's another look at some 4A Region 7 scores from tonight. The Central Wildcats take home a win over the Wilson Warriors with a final score of 45-14, and a win for the East Lawrence Eagles. They finished their night with a 42-0 win over the Rogers Pirates. All right, well, let's go ahead and take our first timeout of the night.
Yeah, that's right, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we head to Milton Frank Stadium for a Rocket City rivalry. It's Huntsville and Grissom in their 52nd meeting.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday Night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday Night.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday Night, everyone. We head out to Milton Frank Stadium for our rivalry game of the week. Huntsville, the road team, taking on Grissom. The Panthers looking for their first win of the season, and they get a big interception there that would lead to this. They're on the goal line, but check out this play coming up from the Grissom secondary. Cole Porter getting his head around and knocking the ball away. He played great tonight, and that would lead to a big Grissom touchdown just before halftime. Javion Roscoe in the Wildcat has a hole, has some space, has some speed. He has a touchdown as they were in a battle all night. In the second half, though, the Huntsville Panthers work their way back into this game, and they get the big rivalry win over Grissom, 27-7, leaving the Huntsville Panthers a very happy team.
At halftime, it was 7-7, and this game was really tight, and I'm really proud of the way our team went in at halftime, listened to what the coaches said, took the game plan in the second half, and applied it, and we came out with a victory. And hats off to Grissom because of the way they played, and Coach Dutton and what they did. They played hard, and I'm just proud of our guys. It's not easy in this region, and we'll enjoy this for about 30 minutes, and then we've got James Clemens next, and they're good every year. So.
Matchups taking place in Huntsville tonight at Lewis Cruz Stadium. Fort Payne made the trip to take on Mae Jemison. So we head out to the home of Alabama A&M and pick this one up with Fort Payne leading 14-zip. With the Wildcats driving, there's some trouble on the exchange and the ball is up for grabs. The Jaguars would recover, but the Fort Payne defense held tight and forced another Jemison punt. Now driving again, Jake Barnes looks to the skies. Don't stare directly at the sun, kids. The defenders blinded by the beauty of that pass as Brandon Oliver hauls it in for a huge gain. Later in the drive, the southpaw tosses one to the right side for Marcus Ledford, who rumbles upfield to set up another Wildcat score. And it's going to be Caden Dubose making some noise as he gets the angle on this one, putting Fort Payne up 3 scores and taking home the win over the Jaguars, 49-8. And at Gadsden City tonight, the Buckhorn Bucks were hoping to bounce back from a Week 1 loss, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards this week. They lose to Gadsden City Titans 31-7.
All right, let's head out to ARAM for this next one. This matchup, one of the best in the area tonight. The Knights hosting a 2-0 Douglas team. Both these teams have hopes to make a postseason run, and this game tonight was an important one. Late in the second quarter, 1st and 10 on the 18 for Douglas, and this pass is going to be picked off by ARAM's Brody McCain to end any hope of a Douglas score before the break. Then in the third, running back Jake Franklin takes a handoff, and he's got speed, making a 65-yard touchdown dash. He's in for 6, and the Arab Knights are up 27-0 early in the third quarter. Later, quick shuffle from quarterback Aiden Cox to Drake Franklin. He shuffles it to the wide receiver, Drew Pusio, who brings it down all the way inside the 30 for a first down for Arab. They were getting fancy tonight, and they get the win at home, 40-6. While at Boaz, the Pirates found themselves taking on Scottsboro in a 5A showdown, but it's the Wildcats who take this one. Scottsboro wins it on the road, 36-12.
In Class 3A Region 8, there was an important matchup as Clements hit the road to take on Lauderdale County. With the addition of Mars Hill Bible this year, that Class 3A region is really dangerous. So we jump in with the Tigers up 28-zip and looking to add on. A quick toss to Jalen Berg will handle that as his blockers push the Colts out of the way like a little kid seeing some broccoli, and Tiger Nation is pumped to have this enormous lead. Clements would struggle to get anything going in this one as Lauderdale County steamrolls the Colts tonight. That game was called due to lightning in the area as the Tigers take it 49-6. And speaking of Mars Hill, they took on region foe Colbert Heights tonight, and they took an early lead in this one and never let up, winning it 56-6. Well, before we get any more games in, let's take the time to blow the whistle for another timeout.
Yeah, that's right, but when we return, we check in on 4A Region 8, some really important region games taking place tonight.
Stay tuned for more big games Friday night on WAAY 31. Go Wildcats! Let's go, Cats!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
For the JC Drumline, this week's Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31 News.
All right, a big congratulations to the James Clemens Marching Band for winning tonight's Flow Air Spirit Award.
Standing at 197 members strong, the Marching Band consistently gets superior ratings at all competitions and have received multiple Best in Class awards. They even performed in the 2017 New Year's Day Parade in London.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. All right, let's get back to some football now. At Milton Frank, we had a big-time rivalry showdown. We showed you that game earlier in the evening. Max, how about this one that was taking place at Westminster?
Yeah, it's the Wildcats hosting the Chiefs, and Westminster wasted absolutely no time in this one. First play from scrimmage, Brandon Mush drops back and hits Owen Lockett on the slant, and he is gone. The senior turns on the burners and says, smell you later. He finds pay dirt. Talk about efficiency. One play, one score. But the Wildcats were in attack mode. They go with the onside kick, and with a little help from a good bounce, TJ Carter scoops it up. So now with the ball again, Mush is going to call his own number, making a few quick cuts as he dashes for the left lane, and he's off to the races. Remember, people, the left lane is for speed, even when you're driving. After a few plays, Westminster smelling their second score. Mush airs one out for Lockett again and gets the same result. The Wildcats win that one, 55-39.
Westminster looking solid this year, but in that same region is Randolph. The Raiders coming off of a Game of the Week victory tonight, taking on JP2 at home. A little rivalry matchup between the Falcons and Raiders. And early on, JP2 was playing some solid defense. You would think that the play call for the Raiders would be just give it to Nick Strong of the Raiders, but the Falcons had him bottled up all night. Tyler Sotolano coming up with a big tackle there. I shouldn't say all night, though, because eventually Strong would get things going. Check out the vision from the running back on this one to pick up a big first down, and that would lead to a score for Randolph. Quarterback Andrew Hunter back to pass. He throws one up for Grayson Davenport, who does a great job keeping those feet in bounds for 6. The Raiders get the big win at home tonight, 55-0. They move to 2-1 on the season.
Speaking of teams that look talented in 2022, Jesler on the road tonight looking to build on their early season success. And out in Limestone County, the Tigers looking to keep things rolling as Jakari Blue rolls to his right and rumbles into the end zone to make Tuscumbia proud. Crowd loving that one as they flash the old 3-1 right there. The Tigers were in attack mode on defense as well. They would force Colin Patterson to just toss this one away, and as you can imagine, head coach Patrick Malone absolutely locked in. Deschler would strike again later as Simeon Malone plays hide and seek. When he's back in view, he's gone. Another Tiger touchdown. The Tigers win over the Wildcats 50-17.
Yeah, and before our final timeout, let's head out to Gunnersville, where the Wildcats were in action tonight against Crossville. Gunnersville off to a solid start this season, and they were hoping to add another win to their resume, and they looked good tonight. First and inches, or I should say, first and inches from the goal line, and it's Cedric Jade Gamera pushing the ball into the end zone, putting Gunnersville on the board 7-0. But check out this response from Crossville. The first time they touch the ball, and Stephen Wan is going to go to work. He gets some space. He's down the sideline, and he's going to get things started for Crossville all the way into enemy territory. They're going to get things started at the 39, but that drive would stall, and Julian Jordan would add another score for the Wildcats, making a 44-yard touchdown strike as Gunnersville would win this one at home in a lopsided fashion, 64-0, the final in that one. Next week, they'll be in action against Douglas. All right, let's go ahead and take our third and final timeout of the night.
But coming up next on Big Game Friday Night, we introduce you to this week's premier urgent care fan of the night. Don't touch that remote.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday Night on WAAY 31. Go Teams!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday Night.
You're watching Big Game Friday Night. Go Tigers!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday Night.
All right, let's take a look at some more scores that we got for you guys tonight. Plainview at home, but it doesn't give them an advantage. The Geraldine Bulldogs win 41-21, while Falkville hosted Sheffield and pulled out a win over the Bulldogs with a final score of 32-7. And Decatur Heritage 2-0 to start the year, taking on Valleyhead and walking away with a loss. Final score in that one, 57-35, while Fife does the Red Devil special with a 49-0 win over North Sand Mountain.
Yeah, how about that? No surprise there, right? All right, well, let's go ahead and tip our hat now to our Premier Urgent Care Fan of the Night.
For our Premier Urgent Care Fan of the Night, we take you over to Milton Franks Stadium.
I'm Tristan Henderson. I'm the WAAY 31 Fan of the Night. Let's go, Tigers!
All right, congratulations to Tristan Henderson. He's a senior at Grissom High School and a student section super fan. He said he is your Premier Urgent Care Fan of the Night. The Grissom Tigers, they get the loss on the field, but the student section, I'll tell you what, I'll give them the win tonight. They were loving it out there. All right, well, let's Before we sign off, let's be sure to thank our radio sponsors. We definitely could not make this show happen if it was not for them. They make this show possible. And of course, tomorrow we kick off the college football season. The wait is finally over, Max.
Yeah, I couldn't wait any longer. You said it. Both Alabama and Auburn will be in action to get their 2022 season started at home. I'll be down on the Plains as the Tigers take on Mercer.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll be in Tuscaloosa to see Alabama begin their season against Utah State. Be sure to stay connected with me and Max online and on air tomorrow night for game reports and updates from the Tide and Tigers season opener. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap things up here on Big Game Friday night. Thanks so much for joining us this evening and every other week.
And of course, we'll finish things the way we do every other week with our Big Game Friday night Top Flights. Good night, everybody.
Watching a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.